Hello everyone, welcome to Forwards Electric. We're just going to give you a rundown of our ST2 belt drive. This is our shop bike. This is the one that we use for demos if people wanted to try out a Stromer. And we've made a few updates to this. We're going to call this update a 2023 January update. It's got a few nice tricks and bits and pieces on it. And we just want to give you an idea of what we've done to it and why we've done that. And it also has some modifications to it as well, which are direct from Stromer. So we'll show you that as we go around. So if I miss anything out, I might jump backwards and forwards. I'm going to try and just do this in one take, and I will show you from the handlebars down, I think, and then you'll just get a good idea of what we do and how we set our bikes up. So this is in the UK, so it's fully registered in the UK, and I'll just show you the bits we changed on it really, and then I'll try and explain why I've done the changes. So I mainly use this. I use this for commuting. It's a true vehicle replacement, so it's a car replacement for me. Well, actually a van replacement. So I use it to come in and out of work, and we also go to the parcel depots and stuff with it as well, which is why it's got a rack on the back. I'll explain that rack in a bit, and before anyone starts getting excited, it is basically an illegal modification on this bike. And it's illegal by way of the fitment, and that's just how RackTime they sort of explain it. So that's why we're using that sort of wording. So I'll just show you from the handlebars down what we've done to the bike, and then some of the stuff we've got on it. So we do fit the stock mirror. The mirror is super handy on a bike that goes this quick, because you can keep an eye behind what's happening all the time. We fit a courtesy bell. We call this a courtesy bell, and that's just nice to use when you're approaching cyclists, etc., or pedestrians if they're walking along the side of the road or riding along the side of the road. Some of the lanes we come in on are like that, and you just want to give them a gentle ring rather than use the vehicle horn, which is going to be pretty rude if we use that. So that's a modification we've done. Also, I flipped the stem on my bike, so because I'm using this myself mainly, I flip the stem over. I do race bikes as well. The other side of our business is custom bike manufacturing. We have our own bicycle brand. So we, well, for me particularly, I wanted to flip it over and have it in a bit more of a racy position. But that can be positioned either way. So they come that way up, but I've inverted mine. So that's a mod as well. And I also swap over the steerer spacer. So I've got a steerer spacer on top, so it's a little bit lower again. I've left it only at, I haven't taken it down any lower because I don't want to put any more strain on these cables, so that's why it sits like that. You can see there's a Garmin computer on there. It's a very fancy Garmin computer. It's the top of the range, Garmin 1040, and the reason I've put that on there is just to record my data for my other cycling, because believe it or not, when you're riding an electric bike, you do still get a workout. So I wanted to record that. I'm using the mountain bike mount, which flips backwards and sits over the stem nicely. An out front mount wouldn't work with a Stromer because it fouls the headlight. So that's why I've opted for that. As we're a Garmin stockist and dealer, we can get these ones in. So that's how I fitted that. It's fantastic for navigation and stuff as well. So if you wanted to use that for navigating places you don't know, that's awesome as well. So the ST2 obviously comes with the dual beam headlight. That's stock. Other modifications we've done around this way. Obviously I've got my bars set at quite an aggressive angle as well. I've sort of flipped them down a bit. Again, just personal preference and comfort, and we would do that for the customer, just set that up according to what the customer's after position wise. Obviously setting the grips up at the right angle is important as well, so that you're not getting issues with comfort when you're riding it for commuting. I'm going to go back over to the seat post. So in the UK, we have supply of the Cane Creek seat posts. So if the Stromer was in stock in the UK and we wanted to get it for the customer and put a suspension seat post on, we can fit the Cane Creek seat post instead of the ones that come direct from Stromer, and that enables us to be able to do it as a retrofit in the UK. We also use Cane Creek on our other bikes, so this was a particular product I wanted to use on these. We do little details on ours, like change this bolt to a stainless steel bolt because that could potentially rust. We noticed that on our stock and our shop bike, should I say. So I've changed that, and I change that for all customers now as a matter of course. This little bag down here, this I don't need to have a bottle or anything on my electric bike. So what I've used that space for instead is a top tube bag. So this bag is actually the wrong way round, and it would normally be mounted on the top here on a gravel bike. So gravel bikes have a couple of holes there, and then it would face that way round, and then you'd zip it backwards, and then you'd be able to get food when you're riding. But what I've used it for instead is when I'm all packed up, so I've got my backpack on, I've put everything in my backpack, maybe I've got all my luggage in the back here, I'm always forgetting things, so I need to get my keys out again, and then I get a bit annoyed because I've got to take my bag off my back again, take all my keys out, undo the lock I need to do, then put it all back in again. It's just a bit of a faff. So the whole point of what we do here at Forwards Electric is to try and make the whole process of having an electric bike as perfect as possible for customers to be able to replace a vehicle and then use it every day without failing. It's just a really nice thing to use. So with this bag here, it actually opens the nice way round, so you can zip it up, and then the hole that would normally be for sending a lead out or for doing your a battery pack on the handlebars, for example, is facing backwards, so you're not going to get water ingress. If I had it the other way round, it potentially would get water in. But the main purpose of this bag is I would just throw my keys in there. So I could put keys in there, wallet in there, anything like that. And then when I'm riding home from work or riding to work, I needed to stop at the shops or anything like that, I can just pull over quickly, whip my wallet out, and then get my keys and stuff, and it's just really easy to have it there. So some people like them, some people don't. I think it fits in the frame lovely. It's a sort of right sort of angle, so it looks kind of cool. The colour's really good, so it matches nicely. And it just, it's fully waterproof as well, but it just means that we can have, well, when we're using it, we can have keys to hand, and it just makes practicality a bit better. So that's the bag, in case anyone was wondering. Pedal-wise, we've put a aluminium pedal on. These are the XT pedals from Shimano. And because I'm an avid cyclist, I have SPD shoes. I also have a really nice Fizik waterproof shoe that I use on my Stromer for commuting in the winter, and then I'd have a nice set of more casual shoes for the summer that I'd also clip in with. But if I just wanted to grab the bike and nip to the shops, if I'm home, for example, I want to just be able to jump on the flat pedal. So I've got the flat one side and then clip the other side. So that's a personal preference. The bike does come with a plastic pedal on the ST1, ST2, so we would recommend upgrading that to aluminium, and then these particular ones are good for me. So one-sided flat, one-sided clip. I have sensors on my bike, again, because I'm a bit geeky and I do loads of training. So this sensor here is for cadence, so I can see what sort of speed I'm spinning the pedals at, and then the sensor on the front wheel just down there, that's for speed. And then that transmits to the cycle computer to give me that data, and that's important for my my training. It's not something essential for most customers on an electric bike. So that's that side of things. We'll cover the rack really quickly. The rack is absolutely amazing. So this is like a basket system that goes on. This is the larger versions of the two, and it's made by RackTime, and it's called a BoxIt. And this is the largest version they do. They do two sizes. What we've done is put a cargo net on it as well, so we can just chuck stuff in and then be able to just wrap it up, wrap that over the top nicely. I mean, we've had this loaded up quite high with luggage, with bits and pieces. But if you see here on the label, which I will cover in a separate video, you shouldn't technically use it on this rack. So the rack that the Stromer comes with is too narrow, so we shouldn't use that. Rather than cover it in this video, I'm going to do a separate video about that and just show you how we use it, how we set it up. But just to be totally clear, you shouldn't technically use it on a Stromer because it's not rated to be used on that rack. So we have a way of getting around it, which I'll show you in another video. But for now, I'll just show it on there, just in case anyone wants to get excited and write loads of comments about, oh, you shouldn't use that. So on the back, we've added an additional light. So this is a really nice light that we purchased from one of our suppliers. It's USB-C rechargeable, has various different modes on it. On a Stromer, I would definitely recommend just having it on steady, on constant. Don't have it flashing. You're going to annoy motorists. I don't think you need to. It's bright enough. And then that partnered with the standard tail light, it's just makes it stand out a bit more, which is why we wanted to use that one. Just having a look around quickly and see what else we can discuss before I get onto some of the other mods. So the one thing we've done today, which is what I'm really excited to try out, is the Pirelli tyres. So we fitted the brand new Pirelli Angel GT Urban tyres. So the size of this tyre is exactly the same as you get from Stromer. So it is a 650B by 57mm wide tyre. We set them to 40 psi, which we find gives us plenty of grip and then a nice balance of comfort as well. And then we also put the Muc-Off inner tube sealant in the tyres as well, and that just gives us a bit more peace of mind that if we were to have a puncture, any small puncture like nails or just small objects like thorns, etc., it gives us half a chance it's going to seal that up and you won't know you ever had them. It's those annoying punctures that you would find the bike the next morning when you go into work and the tyre's flat, and it's a slow puncture but just annoying. So touch wood, since we've been doing that with the sealant, we've had no issues at all with punctures and stuff. These particular tyres have a 5mm band in the centre anyway, so just along underneath the top of the tyre, just to stop any of those sharp objects going through. You might also notice we've got the Mudflap on the back here. This is just one we've made. We adapt some mudguards we have in the shop to do this. It's not particularly pretty, we'll be honest. It's a little bit unsightly. It does sort of ruin the really nice lines that Stromer have tried hard to create. But it just stops the mud flicking up underneath the tube, getting into the area where your horn is and stuff. And most importantly, it just stops you getting covered in water and dirt and stuff on the road. Because the bike goes quite quick, I've just noticed you get absolutely covered if we didn't have that. So I've got that on at the second, and then as soon as the nicer weather comes, I'll take that off because the bike will look far nicer without it. So that's another odd bit there to show you. I'll show you some of the updates we've done today. So Stromer have released a performance pack, they call it, for the ST2 belt drive. And there's a couple of bits it has on it. So the first thing it has is this item under here called a stubber. So you see this little guide, and then it doesn't actually touch the belt. I've never had the issue that Stromer have picked up on that this part's for, but it's nice that they're just actively getting these parts out to, you know, stop customers that have got them actually ever having the problem. So what it's to do is just to stop the belt jumping off the wheel, off the rear pulley wheel. We never had that problem, but it's great that they've produced the part, and we've added that modification to this bike today. On the other side, we've added the other modification that comes in the kit, and this is a damper. So it's basically a gasket that goes underneath the disc rotor there, and it stops the disc rotor vibrating, so it prevents or reduces the squeaking or the squealing from the rear rotor. So if you're having that problem, there is a modification for it. The kit comes with the gasket, and it comes with brand new sort of reinforced bolts with a different size Allen key in there as well. So that one there is another mod. And then the other one, which we have covered in another video, is the side door mod. I'll just zoom out a bit. So the side door mod, I'll just show you this. We've got no battery in it. And then, as I said in the other video, if you have a quick look at zoom in here, if you do check your door to see if you've got it, if you've got these little tabs here, then it means you've got the modification. So it's just those little tabs sticking out, you know you've got the correct door on there. And that one there was just to stop an issue where the battery would disconnect if you were to hit a large pothole. And I did, because there's loads in the UK, and I noticed the issue, contacted Stromer, and Stromer are amazing, and they knew all about it, and then they fired over the door, which was done on warranty for me. Well, we did for warranty, but they just sent us the part. So that's that modification as well. I think I've covered everything we've done to it. I'll just have another quick browse round while I'm just showing you some visuals of it. I'll do a separate video of how we set up the, go through the menu and that, and then we'll talk you through how all the stuff on the menu works. But I just wanted to give you an overview of the bike. And then if you've got any questions, just give me a call, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.